I'm Raj Kumar, President and Editor-in-Chief of Devex. We are back here in Dubai at the Global Education and Skills Forum, and I've got a new guest, Ann Black, who is the President of Goldman Sachs Gives.
Yes.
Thanks for being here.
Nice to be here, Raj.
Goldman Sachs Gives, I hadn't heard of it, to be honest. I don't think a lot of people have. You're a donor-advised fund. Tell us a little bit more about how it works.
Sure. So Goldman Sachs Gives was set up about a decade ago, and it was really the ideas of our leadership. And when you used to make partner at Goldman Sachs, the story goes that it was congratulations, you've made partner at Goldman, now go set up your family foundation.
Okay.
And I really think that Lloyd Blankfein and John Rogers had the vision that instead, if we use donor-advised fund structure, which was growing in popularity at the time, we could have everyone housed under the Goldman Sachs Gives umbrella, name the fund that way, but then give each of our individual 400 partners the opportunity to recommend grants. And so when you make partner at Goldman now, the firm sets up and has an amount that you are given that you can recommend grants, and every year that's replenished. And of course, also our partners can put in their own funds if they wish to. But it really has allowed our partners to work collaboratively. So I'd say it's really become a demonstration both of the collaborative spirit that always has been there in the firm's partnership at Goldman Sachs, but also a really great tool for reinforcing it.
Sure. And the scale is pretty substantial, right? How big, what are the assets in this fund now?
Sure. So we have assets right about now of about 600 million, and we grant out about 150 million on average each year. So over the duration of Goldman Sachs Gives life, we've given out 1.3 billion in grant making.
And it's in a relatively short period. It looks like the trajectory is growing, I guess.
It's really, it's remarkable. I think the reason that sometimes we fly under the radar is that, interestingly, our median grant size is $10,000.
Okay.
So it tends to be a lot of smaller grants that are going out the door, and so as a result, that sort of doesn't get the coverage that you would think. But when you look at our fund in total, thankfully, I think we're really having good impact.
And do you do some strategic giving? Because you've got to get all the partners, I guess, and retired partners to buy in to these grants.
Yes.
So are there kind of overarching programs that you fund across Goldman Sachs Gives in addition to individual smaller grants?
You're exactly right. So a decent amount of our grant making is recommended by those individual partners. And so that's the beauty of our work, that we see so many interesting ideas and issues across the globe, since our 400 partners sit in 18 countries. But every so often, and the reason I'm actually here today, is we will work collaboratively across a given project. And so, for example, we've done 300 million to need-based financial aid at colleges and universities globally. And so this really speaks to our vision of diversity and inclusion at Goldman, and making sure that everyone has access and opportunity to develop those skills in higher education. And so there our partners work together in supporting a lot of their colleges and universities that tend to be very popular ones for us.
Sure.
Another recent coordinated effort that we did that I think spoke to so many of our firm's partners, who again are a diverse lot themselves, was work we did around the refugee crisis. So over the last couple of years, we have deployed $7.5 million to a variety of refugee causes, working with nonprofits, working with the White House during the Obama administration, working with the UK government as well. And that's been incredibly rewarding. And we were proud to be one of the first corporates that got out with a big multi-million-dollar grant. And that was really because of the structure of a donor-advised fund. You're not going through the traditional process of a foundation that takes months and months to review a grant and proposal. We were able to get the money out within days of seeing that very tragic picture of the child on the beach in Turkey. And that really motivated so many of us to get involved. And a couple of the partners of our firm really took the lead, dialed for dollars, calling their peer partners around the firm, and lo and behold, very quickly we got up to $7.5 million. So
that's fantastic.
It's really, that's, I'd say, the beauty of Goldman Sachs Gives, where you really see the partners working together around a shared mission.
Now, you mentioned an education example, need-based financial assistance for college, but we're here at an education conference. What percentage of your overall budget would you say goes out to education-related programs?
Sure. So, not surprisingly, education resonates with so many of our firm's partners, and so we've done about 51% of our grant making to educational causes.
Okay.
And so it tends to be something that I think every partner can find a place to plug in. So whether it's early childhood education, which a number of our partners have enjoyed supporting those causes, right up through programs during the school day, might be teacher training, or it might be after-school programs. In the United States, we've done a fair amount around education reform in charter schools, helping to build, and I know Jeff Canada was here, the new Harlem Children's Zone building a few years ago. And then right up through after-school programs, higher ed, as we've discussed, and then right up through lifelong learning. So I think everyone finds a place to plug in on the education spectrum.
So before I let you go, anyone watching this from the global development community who's maybe running an NGO or has an initiative that they're thinking about getting funded, who are the kind of right possible partners for you? What's their way into having the conversation around getting funding from Goldman Sachs Gives?
Sure. Well, I'm always inspired when I come to gatherings like this, because it's really an opportunity for me to get away from the desk and meet some really terrific nonprofit leaders, hear speakers on a variety of topics, and really educate us as we think of what might be next for us to invest in. What are those big efforts that maybe we could have some impact? And so it's partially us coming here and doing research, and then for all of the great nonprofits I'd say that are out there, I encourage you to get to know the people of Goldman Sachs in your community. People at all levels of Goldman Sachs are interested in volunteering opportunities. We have programs for that. And then up through the partners who are often sitting on nonprofit boards in all of the countries, who are the ones, again, recommending the grants. And we really do hope that Goldman Sachs Gives is a way in which we can find those ambassadors around the world who want to work with us in this endeavor. So I do encourage everyone to try and find your local office as best you can.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for taking some time to be with us today. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.